So I just got hooked up to the trailer. Everybody here at the house is fed. I need to head over to the bank barn and get a couple of ewes unloaded that we purchased yesterday and load up some feeder lambs. So I'm backed up here to the lean-to at the bank barn. When we picked up these 2 ewes last night, it was about 7 o'clock at night by the time I got home with the trailer. Still needed to feed everybody. It was already dark, it was cold out, and I just decided just to open up the whole trailer, put a fresh bale of straw down in there for them, give them some water and leave them on there. I didn't want to combine anybody last night because they're gonna have to figure out everybody's pecking order once they're in the pen together. Right now, the only pen I really have available without trying to move some stuff around and set up a special pen for these 2 is to put them in with these 3 Suffolk ewe lambs we have here at the bank barn. I'm not too worried about these ewes. We know the farm that they came from somewhat. The genetics on these ewes are the same basically genetics as most of our weather type ewes. The ram that was used on these ewes that they've been exposed to came from the same farm that a lot of our feeder lambs come from, our weather type ram comes from, and about 90% of our weather type ewes have came from. So we're very familiar with this style of ewe and their genetics, and so that's why we went ahead and purchased these at an auction last night, because we thought they'd blend in really well with our flock. So these are the 2 ewes that we ended up picking up. They've both been exposed to a club style ram. They were marked there towards the end of September, so this is going to put them right at the beginning of February to middle of February. They should be lambing. They should fit in really well with a lot of our weather type ewes there in that second cycle and third cycle, so they'll be lambing at the same time as the others. That was important that we picked them up. And another thing we like is picking up these ewes when they've been sheared. Yeah, it just gives them clean look, blends them in with the rest of them. No like extra dirty wool or anything on them. One of these girls was born in 23 and the other was in 24. So they both have some time. They aren't just ewe lambs. That's another thing we were avoiding yesterday, was trying to buy any ewe lambs. We didn't want to have to deal with a bunch of first-time moms without really knowing what genetics they come out of. I really like that one there in the back. That's the one that was born in 23. She has that, she's a black lamb, has that smoke color to her. Right now, that'll be the 3rd one that we have currently. You know, and that's something I just think they're just really interesting, and I'm excited to see what the lambs look like out of these guys. So I got the trailer backed up, and what I'm hoping is just to run them off, let them have from here to the other end open. I'm sure that'll get those ram lambs stirred up, but I'm gonna put a panel right here and then just open up this corner of the pen and get them in here at these ewes. These ewes are doing pretty good. They got plenty of room here in this pen. And in the next couple weeks, we're gonna be bringing everybody back home to the lambing barn there. And I don't mind sticking them in with these ewes because we can treat these ewes. They're not bred or anything like that. So if these guys come down with any kind of sickness, we can treat them and don't have anything to worry about with that. Normally I'd make an extra area for them, but today I'm really crunched on time because after I unload these guys, I gotta get 4 feeder lambs loaded up here in the trailer. I got about a 4-hour round trip. And then I got a basketball game I got to get to in this afternoon. But the thing is, it's going to start snowing here in about 3 hours, 2.5, 3 hours. And I was wanting to be closer to home on the trip back once it started snowing, not making the trip like I normally do in the evening and driving through the snow that amount of time, because that could add maybe a couple hours onto my trip, and I'm trying to avoid that. So this morning, I'm in a little bit of rush to try to get all this done and squeeze it all in. So I got this little path for them. It's a little tight right here, but let's see how it goes. I'm hoping this works out pretty good. Just like I thought they'd turn. Come on, girls. This way, good job, go. Oh, come on, there you go. There you go. That went pretty well. They got in there pretty quick. You can see these are the weather types here. Couple-year-old ewes, mature ewes, are basically a little bit smaller than my Suffolk ewe lambs here that are, these are all about 10 months old right now. So while they're in there in the pen sorting things out right now, they're also kind of looking for feed because they see me. I haven't fed anybody here yet this morning because what I want to do is get these feeder lambs loaded on the trailer first, feed this set of 4 on the trailer while I'm feeding everybody else. That way they got time to eat, and I'm not trying to sort them out while they're still trying to stand at the feeder. So I'm just trying to make this easier on me and get this done, but it's also all the lambs are a little hangry right now, so we're gonna see what we can get done. I'm gonna get backed up over to this other side of the lean-to. My plan is to separate the 4 out I want with the split gate I got, and I opened up this area where I had this feedlot panel, and then I got the gate tied in, and hopefully it rushes them right here onto the trailer. I do have to admit though, after looking at this, it takes 2 people to get them in the popper. It takes 2 people if I'm lifting them up and pulling them over top of this feeder panel. And I'm over here early in the morning, like I said, and I built in an extra half hour into my trip today. And if I get these guys loaded up in the next 5 minutes, I still have to feed everybody, but I've already used 15 extra minutes of that half hour leeway, and I built into the trip for myself. I'm hoping this goes good, but I went ahead and closed the road gate when I came in, just because if these guys get loose, it looks like I'll have to be going to the processor this evening of the snowstorm. But we're gonna try to get the 4 sorted off that we want and loaded on the trailer now. Turn. Come on now. Oh. There you go. Come on now. There you go. Nope. Watch the small ones will go away. Get on now. You're going on that trailer. Come on now. Come on now. So that worked better than I thought it would, actually. In the middle there, I just kind of pivoted and I decided, since all of them were wanting to stay together, any lamb that got by me came right back to the group. Let's just go ahead and try to get the whole group on the trailer. There's only 9 of them left. Then I can sort the 4 off I want pretty easy. Only took a minute. Pretty happy with the ones that I got off. There's that one in the back. You know, there has to be an oddball. He could have went, maybe, I don't know. He's a little thinner looking in his height. He's tall and kind of looks a little lean, I should say, I guess. So I went ahead and just unloaded him because I was kind of happy with the 4 that's still on the trailer. And these are the 4 that we were left with here on the trailer. We're gonna get those guys fed. I'm gonna pull the trailer away, get everybody fed over here, and then we'll get heading down towards the processor. And right now I'm still on track to meet my goal of getting out of there, getting them dropped off, and getting back for that basketball game and not getting stuck in a snowstorm. And then again, it may not even snow that much, but I got a plan on it. And then when I get back after the ball game, I need to move some hay around and get everybody buttoned up over here to get through the snow tonight, if it comes. So we're back for making a trip down to the processor. No snow, no freezing rain, anything like that. Actually, it got up probably about 40 today. As I was heading down that way, about an hour after I left here, the forecast changed. Kind of said maybe this afternoon, have a little bit of sleet maybe. And then by the time I got down there and dropped them off, I checked the forecast again, and it basically pushed it back to a chance of maybe some snow flurries here this evening after dark. So I'm kind of glad I got everything done this morning as soon as I did. That way, also, I was able to give these 2 new ewes plenty of time to get used to being in this new pen with the other ewes. Everybody seems to be doing fine in here. they all seem to get along. These 3 Suffolk ewes in here are very friendly, very nice, very well behaved. Nobody's a jerk, and these 2 ewes so far have come up. I've been able to get them to come up and check me out. They're not doing too bad, but I was glad I was able to get them the amount of time that they've had in here today to get used to each other. You know, just because I hate putting anybody in there and getting them all ganged up and picked on. But, you know, I picked up these 2 ewes mostly because they match the rest of our weather type lambs. They were sheared, and we know the genetics. So, you know, we're kind of wanted something to go along with them, just kind of to replace a couple, because I'm pretty sure a couple of my weather type ewes didn't get bred. One of them's looking pretty thin, so we're going to have to keep an eye on that one. But, you know, this will kind of help replace a few of them. There was some good groups at this breeding ewe sale down there. It was about breeding sheep and breeding goats. There was some good groups of Katahdin ewes that what I was interested in maybe doing was picking up a group of 10 of them and running them with one of these Suffolk rams I have here at the bank barn, have some really late spring lambs, feed those lambs out, rebreed those ewes back, and then try to either lamb them again next winter or offer them as a group of 10 bred ewes that are, and sell them that way. Just because of that F1 hybrid vigor cross with those Katahdin Suffolks. Those are some good growing lambs, and I think there's a market for that and a market for registered Katahdins that have been bred by a Suffolk. So I don't know, I ended up kind of passing on that just because it didn't really align with our goals for 2026 with our sheep flock. You know, we're going to use that money elsewhere and just keep focusing on what we kind of got laid out for ourselves for the next year. But, you know, it was a really good sale, a lot of good looking sheep. I'm glad I picked up these 2. I feel like I got a pretty good deal on them. You know, I hope it works out that at least what I'm figuring on is right now each of them having 1 single lamb this winter in February. And so if that happens, I did great. Even if it didn't, I didn't do too bad on them. So I'll have them checked out before I end up keeping them then, making sure that they're able to be bred. But, you know, it's just kind of exciting to get a couple new sheep and also see that these girls aren't crazy bouncing off the walls trying to get out of this pen. But right now I'm over here, going to get everybody taken care of. Really nothing to do too much over here just because we don't really have a winter storm coming right now. So I'm just going to get everybody fresh water, fed, and some hay stocked up. Call it a night. Well, that'll wrap this one up. Thanks for watching.